Hello and welcome to K News. This is Hardik Trivedi. Let's have a look what is happening in India and in the world. President Donald Trump raised the notion of delaying the next US election scheduled for November, suggesting without offering evidence that mail-in voting will be subject to fraud. In a tweet Thursday morning, Trump repeated false criticism that vote by mail is rife with fraud, saying that the election should be delayed until people can properly, securely, and safely vote. Trump's tweet came minutes after the Commerce Department reported the economy shrank at a record 32.9% pace in the second quarter, and Labor Department figures showed increasing numbers of Americans claiming state unemployment benefits. Under a law signed by President John Tyler, the presidential election is held on the first Tuesday after the first Monday in November. It cannot be changed without an act of Congress, which would be difficult to pass in the Democratic-controlled House. Trump trailed Democratic nominee Joe Biden by 8% points in the Real Clear Politics average of polls, as well as in averages of polls in the battleground states of Arizona, Florida, Michigan, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. The Islamabad High Court has formed a special bench to hear the case of former Indian Navy Commander Kulbhushan Jadhav from next week, Geo News reported on Thursday. Jadhav, a former Indian Navy commander, has been sentenced to death for alleged involvement in a spying case. Islamabad High Court Chief Justice will be heading the bench. A lawyer will also be appointed for Jadhav on Monday. Earlier this week, the Pakistan government presented the International Court of Justice Ordinance 2020 in Parliament for approval. This legislation will pave the way for Jadhav to appeal his death sentence handed to him by a military court in 2017. The ordinance will have an overriding effect, as its provisions shall have effect notwithstanding anything to the contrary contained in any law for the time being in force, including the Pakistan Army Act 1952. On July 22, the Pakistan government had approached the Islamabad High Court to appoint a legal representative for the Indian spy. According to the government's petition, Jadhav refused to file a petition against his sentence. Jadhav cannot appoint a lawyer in Pakistan without India's assistance. The petition claimed that New Delhi is also reluctant to avail the facility under the ordinance. The government in the petition has asked the court to appoint a legal representative for Jadhav so that Pakistan can fulfill its responsibility to see to the implementation of the ICJ's decision. On July 17, Pakistan had offered Jadhav consular access for a third time after the second opportunity was not fully availed. Images of Lord Ram and 3D portraits of the Grand Ram Temple in Ayodhya will be beamed across the giant billboards in the iconic Times Square in New York on August 5 to celebrate the temple's groundbreaking ceremony. Prominent community leader and president of the American India Public Affairs Committee, Jagdish Sevani, on Wednesday said that arrangements are being made to celebrate the historic moment in New York on August 5, when Prime Minister Narendra Modi is scheduled to lay the foundation stone for construction of the Ram Temple in Ayodhya. Mr. Sevani told that among the prominent billboards that are being leased for the occasion are the giant Nasdaq screen and the 17,000 square feet wraparound LED display screen, considered among the largest continuous exterior displays in the world. Mr. Sehwani said the members of the Indian community will also gather at Times Square on August 5 to mark the celebration and distribute sweets. This is not a once-in-a-lifetime or a once-in-a-century event. This is an event that comes once in a life for mankind. We had to give it a befitting celebration, and what better place than the iconic Times Square to commemorate the Ram Janmabhoomi Shilanyas, Mr. Sehwani said. Under Prime Minister Modi, the construction of the Ram Temple is a dream come true for Hindus all over the world. Mr. Sehwani said the Times Square commemoration is being made possible with the help and support of the community and sponsors. The CBI has booked 4 Navy officers and 14 others for allegedly generating fake bills of Rs 6.76 crore for supplying IT hardware to the Western Naval Command, officials said. Captain Atul Kulkarni, Commanders Mandar Godbole and RP Sharma, and Petty Officer Kuldeep Singh Baghel allegedly prepared 7 fraudulent bills to Rs 6.76 crore, they said Wednesday. All these accused naval officers abused their official position to defraud the naval authorities and rob the exchequer of public money, which led to pecuniary gain to themselves, according to the CBI FIR. The probe agency has also carried out searches in this connection, sources said. The bills were allegedly raised between January and March in 2016 at the Western Naval Command in Mumbai for supplying information technology and networking related hardware. None of the items mentioned in the bills were supplied to headquarters of Western Naval Command. No documents pertaining to preparation of the bills, that is approvals, financial sanction, purchase orders, receipt vouchers, etc., are available at the headquarters, the CBI FIR said. The agency has also booked 4 officials of the Controller of Defence Accounts, besides private companies Star Network, ACME Networks, Cyberspace Infovision, and Moksha Infosys. Markets regulator SEBI on Wednesday gave relaxation of 1 month till September 15 to listed companies for submitting their June quarter results amid coronavirus pandemic. The move comes after SEBI received a request for extension of time submission of financial results for the quarter of half year ended June 30 due to the shortened time gap between the extended deadline for filing financial results for the period ended March 31 and the quarter on half year ended June 30. After consideration, it has been decided to extend the timeline for submission of financial results for the quarter of half year or financial year ended June 30, 2020 to September 15, 2020, SEBI said in a circular. Normally, listed companies are required to file their annual results within 60 days from the end of a financial year, while in the case of quarterly results, firms are required to file it within 45 days from the end of the quarter. In June, SEBI had given another month extension till July 31 to listed companies for submitting their fourth quarter as well as annual results. Earlier, the deadline to submit the financial results was June 30. The circular will come into force with immediate effect, SEBI said. Yes Bank has taken over the headquarters of Anil Ambani's group in suburban Santa Cruz for failure to repay dues worth Rs 2,800 crore. The private sector lender has also taken possession of 2 flats in South Mumbai for the non-repayment of dues by Reliance Infrastructure. According to a notice published by Yes Bank, in a newspaper on Wednesday. Nearly all the major companies in Anil Dhirubhai Ambani Group were operating out of the Santa Cruz, called Reliance Center. However, in the last few years, the fortunes of the group have gone south, with the companies meeting various fates, including bankruptcies and stake sales. Yes Bank said it had sought to recover dues of rupees 2,892 crore from Reliance Infrastructure on May 6 and took possession of the three properties on July 22 after a failure to repay even after 60 days of the notice. It cautioned the general public not to deal with the properties, adding that any dealing with the properties will be subject to a charge of Yes Bank for an amount of rupees 2,800 crore. Last year, the group was looking to lease out some of the headquarters, which measures 21,000 square meters as per the Yes Bank notice, in an attempt to raise resources to pay off debts. The other two properties are spread over two different floors in South Mumbai's Nagin Mahal, at measuring 1,700 square feet and 4,900 square feet. The Rajasthan High Court on Thursday issued notices to the Speaker of the State Assembly, Secretary of Assembly Secretariat, and 6 MLAs who contested elections on BSP tickets and then merged with the Congress last year. The court issued the notices while hearing a petition filed by the BSP against the merger of the MLAs into the Congress, which is the ruling party in Rajasthan. They have to submit their replies by August 11, which is the next date of hearing. The petition is being heard by single judge batch of Justice Mahendra Kumar Goel. Dinesh Kumar Garg told the bench that the merger was unconstitutional. The BSP did not merge with the party, neither the national level nor state level. As per law, parties merge, not legislators. The BSP had earlier issued a whip to the 6 MLAs to vote against the Ashok Gehlot government in any proceedings of the House, including a no confidence motion. A session of the Assembly has been convened on August 14. Also, these 6 MLAs did not submit their resignations, and so the whip was issued by the National Secretary of BSP. Hence, they are liable to be disqualified under the 10th schedule of the Constitution of India, Garg said. On Wednesday, BJP legislator Madan Dilawar had also filed 2 petitions in the High Court requesting disqualification of the BSP lawmakers. It's time for a short break. We'll join you in a short while.
వేసవి అవుతుంది ఫన్ with the cooler number 1. ఇక చేసుకో మోర్ ఫన్ ఉంటే కూలర్ నంబర్ 1. ఇక డోంట్ రన్ ఫ్రమ్ ద సన్ ఉంటే కెల్స్టా నంబర్ 1. दीवाना 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 इतना सुंदर जैसे कोई सपना सुहाना दीवाना दीवाना टाइम्स जो देखे वो दीवाना.
Welcome back to K News and thank you for watching. Let's continue the streak of news. NASA's next generation Mars rover Perseverance blasted off from Florida on Thursday atop an Atlas V rocket on a $2.4 billion mission to search for traces of potential past life on Earth's planetary neighbor. The next generation robotic rover, a car-sized 6-wheeled scientific vehicle, also is scheduled to deploy a mini helicopter on Mars and test out equipment for future human missions to the fourth planet from the Sun. It is expected to reach Mars next February. It soared into the sky under clear, sunny and warm conditions, carried by an Atlas V rocket from the Boeing-Lockheed joint venture United Launch Alliance. This marked NASA's ninth journey to the Martian surface. Perseverance is due to land at the base on 820 feet deep crater called Jezero, a former lake from 3.5 billion years ago that scientists suspect could bear evidence of potential past microbial life on Mars. Scientists have long debated whether Mars, once a much more hospitable place than it is today, ever harbored life. Water is considered a key ingredient for life, and the Mars billions of years ago had lots of it on the surface before the planet became a harsh and desolate outpost. Just 2 days after China claimed that frontline border troops have completed the disengagement process in most locations and the situation on the ground is easing, India on Thursday rebutted the claim, adding the exercise is not complete yet. There has been some progress made towards this objective, but the disengagement process has as yet not been completed. The senior commanders of the two sides will be meeting in the near future to work out steps in this regard, said Anurag Shrivastava, spokesperson, the Ministry of External Affairs. The spokesperson underlined that maintenance of peace and tranquility in the border areas is the basis of the India-China bilateral relationship. Therefore, we expect that the Chinese side will sincerely work with us for complete disengagement and de-escalation and full restoration of peace and tranquility in the border areas at the earliest, as agreed to by special representatives, he added. Saudi Arabia may have a little choice but to reduce the price of its oil as OPEC and allied producers start to ease output curbs amid weakening demand that has crashed the value of physical supplies. Aramco is expected to cut the official selling price for its flagship Arab Light grade by 48 cents a barrel for September sales to Asia. The median estimate in a survey of 8 traders and refiners across the region shows it would be the first drop in 4 months after a series of hikes that came as OPEC cut output and consumption recovered as Asian economies emerged from lockdowns. A reduction in Saudi OSPs could signal a pause or even a reversal in the rapid recovery across oil markets from the coronavirus. While Asia led the world in the demand rebound, crude and product stockpiles remain stubbornly high, and the pandemic is still surging or staggering a comeback in many countries. Floods and logistical bottlenecks in China in recent weeks have also contributed to a slumps in imports, while Indian fuel sales are dropping again. September loading cargoes of Arab Light for Asia could be priced at 72 cents a barrel premium to the average of benchmark Oman and Dubai crude prices, according to the survey. That is down from $1.20 premium from August. Saudi Aramco typically releases its official prices in the first 5 days of the month. Other Middle Eastern producers may be forced to cut OSPs as OPEC and its allies such as Russia start to ease output curbs from next month. Global benchmark Brent crude is poised for a third straight monthly gain, but August may prove to be more challenging as the increase in supply hits a global economy that's still far from bringing the virus under control. The new education policy approved by the Centre on Wednesday lays much focus on mother tongue as the medium of instruction, even as it sticks to the three-language formula while emphasizing that no language would be imposed on anyone. The policy document states that since children learn and grasp non-trivial concepts more quickly in their home language, which is often the mother tongue, it should be preferably the medium of instruction. Wherever possible, the medium of instruction until at least grade 5, but preferably till grade 8 and beyond, will be the local language or the regional language. Thereafter, the local language shall continue to be taught as a language wherever possible. This will be followed by both public and private schools, the policy states. However, the emphasis on local language or mother tongue also leads to a question mark on the existence of thousands of English medium schools that are present across the country. Many of the schools impart high quality education and are leading institutions in their particular regions. The three-language formula will continue to be implemented while keeping in mind the constitutional provisions, aspirations of the people, regions and the union. However, there will be a greater flexibility in the three-language formula and no language will be imposed on any state. The three languages learned by children will be the choices of states, regions and of course the students themselves, the policy states. Rajasthan Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot on Thursday reached out indirectly to the rebel legislators supporting his erstwhile deputy Sachin Pilot, claiming that he still wanted the MLAs to attend the upcoming assembly session as they had been elected on the Congress party's symbol. I still want those unhappy MLAs to attend the assembly session as they have been elected on Congress symbol. It is my responsibility to ensure that they are seen standing with the government in front of the public, Gehlot said. After turning down a cabinet proposal 3 times, Governor Kalraj Mishra has finally agreed to convene a session for the Legislative Assembly next month on August 14. Among the 107 Congress MLAs in the 200-member Rajasthan Assembly, Pilot and 18 other dissident legislators have openly defied the party whip and refused to attend Congress party meetings despite being asked to do so. Expressing confidence in his government and MLAs who are supporting him, Gehlot further said, I am happy that the governor finally accepted my request to call the assembly session sooner, as any more delay could have resulted in further horse trading. Everyone knows horse trading took place, but that won't affect us. We will complete our full term. The Congress numbers include 6 BSP MLAs who merged with the ruling party after the 2018 assembly polls. The merger is now being challenged in the High Court by the BSP and a BJP MLA. Domestic stock markets fell amid volatile trade on Thursday, extending losses to a second straight session as the sell-off in financial, energy, metal stocks pulled the markets lower. The S&P BSE Sensex index dropped as many as 707 points from an intraday high of 38,413 to hit 37,706 on the downside in late afternoon deals. The broader NSE Nifty 50 benchmark slumped to as low as 11,089, having earlier risen to as high as 11,299 compared to its previous close of 11,202. The Sensex ended 335 points lower at 37,736 and the Nifty settled at 11,102, down 100 points or 0.90% from its previous close. Bharat Petroleum, IndusInd Bank, Indian Oil, HDFC, Axis Bank ending between 3.15% and 7.93% lower, were the worst among the 37 stocks in the 50 scrip Nifty basket that declined. On the other hand, Dr. Reddy's Lab, Sun Pharma, Wipro Vedanta and Maruti Suzuki closing with gains of between 1.21% and 4.60% were the top Nifty gainers. HDFC Twins and ICICI Bank were the top drags on the Sensex, accounting for a loss more than 200 points in the index. Equities elsewhere in Asia turned negative in the second half of the day, with MCSI's broadest index of Asia Pacific shares outside Japan declining 0.10%, a stalemate on US fiscal support that investors hoped would help cushion the impact of the coronavirus outbreak dented global sentiment. Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal on Thursday announced a reduction in value-added tax or VAT to 16.75%, which would bring down the price of diesel by more than rupees 8 per litre in the national capital. Until now, the value-added tax was at 30% in Delhi. Currently, the rate of diesel is rupees 81.94 per litre in the metro, almost 2% higher compared to petrol, which is at rupees 80.43 per litre. Diesel has remained more expensive than petrol in Delhi for past few weeks. The move on value-added tax will help propel Delhi's economy, the Chief Minister said while announcing the rate cut through a virtual press briefing. Reviving Delhi's economy is a serious challenge, but will be achieved with the cooperation of people, Mr. Kejriwal said. The Chief Minister said traders and industrialists had demanded a cut in VAT. The price of diesel will come down to 73.64 a litre with the reduction in weight, he said. The decision was taken in a meeting of the Delhi cabinet chaired by the Chief Minister. The gap between petrol and diesel rates has been increasing in the metros over past few days, with diesel remaining costlier than petrol in the national capital. Though Brent crude futures, the global benchmark for oil rates, have recovered from a 21-year low of $15.98 per barrel registered in April. They are still down 33% so far this year. That's all for now. Keep watching K News. This is Hardik Trivedi taking your leave. Be alert, be positive, be safe.
એક ચલ દે ભાઈ.
ના ભાઈ.
અરે અરે કઈ ના થાય. આ કોરોના તારી રાહ જોઈને ઊભો નથી યાર. ઓફિસ ખુલી ગઈ પણ આની બીક નથી ગઈ.
આ ઓફિસ આપણા ધંધા રોજગારની ગાડી પાટે ચડાવવા માટે ખુલી છે. ખિસ્સામાં 4 પૈસા આવતા થાય એના માટે ખુલી છે, મસ્તી કરવા નહીં. ઓકે?
હા પણ દોસ્તી.
દોસ્તીનો મતલબ બદલાઈ ગયો છે બકા. સેનિટાઈઝર થી વારંવાર હાથ સાફ કરવા, ટેમ્પરેચર ચેક કરતા રહેવું ને વારંવાર હાથ ધોવા, એ જ છે હવે સાચી દોસ્તી. સમજો?
હા પણ તું દોસ્તીનો એક રૂલ ભૂલી રહ્યો છે દોસ્ત.
શું?
સોશિયલ ડિસ્ટન્સિંગ.
હવે દોસ્તીનો નવો મતલબ સોશિયલ ડિસ્ટન્સિંગ છે.